What's up, everybody? Welcome to a brand new episode of the Horror Bin Podcast. I'm your host, Julian Fernandez. With me today, a good buddy of mine, good friend. Get your train tickets ready. We got Saul Trujillo.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going good, bud. Thank you so much for doing the show.
Before we start, I just want you to know I saw you at Halloween Horror Nights.
Did you?
Yeah, but you were a part of the elite crew of people who had the passes. I was the scum that was waiting in line.
Are you? Wait, you? Well, fucking, the season's over. You were there. You were there when I was just like walking around as a guest.
Yeah, you were a guest. How are you? Because you had the Fast Pass.
Yeah,
You're a part of the Fast Pass Express.
I'll say this for anybody who goes to Horror Nights specifically, but for any Halloween event, spend the money on the Express Pass.
I recognize that now.
You get your money's. It's so much money, but you get your money's worth.
I would have given them $300 right then and there. Like, here you go. I don't want to wait in line with these goddamn peons.
Oh, dude, we were walking through, and there was like that fucking TikTok where it's like, oh, it's the ghetto. Look at all the poor people.
People were eating full meals in line. I was like, what are you guys eating? Fucking.
They had their tents.
And they had to
fires.
because that's how long you could eat a full meal in line.
Families started in line.
Yeah. It was bad.
You should have shouted for me.
Nah, I didn't want to. I didn't want to fuck up your elite buzz. I don't need you to talk to us fucking poor folk. You don't got to talk to the peasants. It's fine. I get it.
I thought you were gonna say like you recognized me in my mask and a costume. And everything.
No. You were going into that the fucking through time one. Whatever. They had like a guy with a
Holidays
fucking
in Hell.
A Sith out. And he was like yelling at people. I was like, oh, all right.
Yeah, Holidays in Hell.
That one was pretty cool.
It's a fun one.
Yeah,
that was a good one. How many mazes did you guys end up going through?
Come on, man, like 6.
Really?
It wasn't a lot.
No, that's a lot. That's for, and you guys just did general admission?
Yeah, it was bad.
But I mean, it's annoying. I'm sure you had to wait, like mostly waiting in line.
The Chucky line never stopped. It was never dipped under 100 minutes.
Yeah, that one was like weirdly the most busiest.
Was it even good?
No.
Tell me it wasn't. Okay, good.
Like in terms
Stupid
of like you're going
assholes.
through and you're like, oh, I want to get scared. No, but if you're like going through and you're like, oh, I want a fun walk through. It's the fun maze that year.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
there's
right.
always like one maze where it's not particularly scary, but it is like colorful and fun.
You know, Be a Good Maze is the movie we're about to talk about today.
True. Great transition. That's why you're on. But we do have a great movie we're talking about. You suggested Train to Busan.
Yeah.
A Korean horror film released in 2016. Here's the quick synopsis. While a zombie virus breaks out in South Korea, specifically South Korea, as passengers struggle to survive on a train from Seoul to Busan.
Yeah, and I say this to today. Australians and Koreans, they make the best horror films.
Korea, especially when it comes to zombie movies, Korea is killing it.
And they're like, their actors really get into it. Like really, I know that like American actors like I'm like, dude, I really felt like this little Korean girl in the film. I was like, someone save this girl.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, Jesus.
Yeah, left and right. I mean, having watched it beforehand, but my first viewing, like I remember watching just being like just riddled with anxiety. And I haven't felt that for a zombie movie in a long time where I'm like, I genuinely care about like all these survivor characters. I want most of them to live. And as they're getting picked off, I'm like, fuck, no.
Oh my God.
But yeah, like right out the get-go with this movie, like that, when you first see the deer transform into a zombie and
I forgot about zombie deer.
Yeah, he gets hit by that car and the guy just drives off and that thing just gets up. I'm like, fuck, this is the transformations from human to zombie in this, I very unique, very different. I don't think I've ever really seen it where it seems more like very like seizure inducing almost.
Yeah, and it's fast because it's one of those, you know, zombie films like it's progressed throughout the years of like they're really slow, and now it's like these are one of those like they're fast.
They're runners.
They're running on top of each other, like in World War Z. Like they're just on top of each other.
That freaks me out the most is when, because it's like, especially like they animated in that Ratatouille movie, like when you just see like a bunch of like rats just like same thing, like running in a group. They're like climbing over each other. And this is the same thing with the zombies. They're like just running over each other and just like this big glob mound that's running towards you.
There's no polite zombies. They just want to eat your brains.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Trying to get some brains here.
You first, ma'am.
No, I couldn't.
Yeah. They're not polite. Get out of my way.
But yeah, like especially like when I think one of the first shots is like just a shot from the perspective of like someone going backwards from a train, and you have like a lead zombie in the front in the corridor. But then you got guys on the fucking where the baggages are and everything. People are just climbing and they're just filling that train car. I remember looking at that shot. I forgot about that shot. I was like, oh shit. That's you see a wall of not even just people, but just fucking undead people coming at you.
I'm like, that would be a great maze because you got to go through like a train. You got to go through like a train car. Oh man, that would be so great.
Oh my god. You're giving me ideas now.
Gotta hit him up, like, hey.
For a long time, I've wanted to like start my own haunt and like do my own mazes.
Is that what they call them? A haunt?
Yeah, a haunt is like a whole like event where they have a haunted house.
I'm going to my wife. We're gonna go to the Shaquille O'Neal one next year. Is it bad?
It's bad. It's real bad.
Okay, never mind.
It's
on the Queen Mary.
Dude, when Dark Harbor was there, it was the shit.
I don't know what Dark Harbor is.
Harbor, it's basically the haunt that used to be there, and then they just didn't survive the pandemic. So they didn't come back. And then Shaq was just, hey, you know what? I want to put on a haunted house. We're gonna put it on. We're gonna have some snacks. We're gonna have some rides. It's gonna be right by a big old boat. It's gonna be great.
This haunted house is just a free throw line. It's a haunted house for him. Oh my God, it's so scary.
No. Why? Unshatterable backboards.
Yeah. No,
I'm just stuck up here.
You're like, this sucks.
Yeah, it's not. It's only their second year, but
okay.
The horror stories I've been hearing, I'm like, ugh, I would not. I mean, if you're interested, I mean, go for it.
No, I'm okay.
Don't pay for like VIP parking. That's what I've been told.
I don't like paying VIP parking for anything, but I do it for the Halloween Horror Nights because of the fact. Yeah. I keep derailing us with this goddamn horror.
Dude, I mean, it's a horror podcast. We're still on topic.
Okay. You're like, as long as we're talking horror.
But yeah, the movie. Like I said, I'm gonna have trouble with all. I was having trouble with all the names, so I'm just kind of labeling them as kind of who they
Protagonists,
are. The dad, the daughter, the husband, the wife. Which
Kids
also
with the bats.
The husband. I know he's been in other things. He was in the Eternals movie. But holy shit, what a beefcake, dude. If I can just veer off for a queer moment here.
Fat.
He like, when they're like getting ready to go fight their way to the like 4 cars down, he's like just taking off his jacket. He's wrapping everything up and he's just standing there. I'm like, dude, this yoked fucking
punching through zombies, dude. They had tape around their arms so that they would, just in case they got bit.
Throwing them. Like he straight up like grabs one, just tosses them up to the ceiling.
You've never seen anyone take that type of approach with zombies. It's like, I'm just gonna throw a zombie.
Gonna fist fight these motherfuckers.
Yeah, because you'd be so afraid of like, what if they bite my knuckle?
And not only not only fist fighting, he's like punching them square in the face.
In the face, right close to teeth. Kind of dumb.
Yeah, but I mean, he's got a baby mama to save.
I know.
So, I mean,
it's
that drive that's keeping him going.
It's great because he had layers to him, to the character. Because like when he was talking to people, he just come off like this blue collar asshole who would make inappropriate jokes.
Yeah.
But then like he'd rescue an old lady. And then like he would like hold the door to sacrifice himself so that everybody else could survive.
Yeah.
But then like on the outside, he'd like make a fucking inappropriate joke about boobs. You know what I mean? Like, this guy rules.
If it wasn't for this zombie, I'd tell you she had nice tits.
Yeah, this guy rules. Yeah. That was all about that.
Yeah, that I mean, like I said, they do a good job balancing, because they don't really address, I don't think anybody ever says anybody else's name really.
No, it's so fast.
But
the movie's so quick.
But they are able to properly balance the characters so that you may not know who they are, but you can tell them apart.
Yeah.
And you can feel for them immediately. Yeah. Like the high school kids, where that one girl is just like
There's the
One girl's
B
like-
story, C story. I mean, that she's just like in love with this dude. There's like a love thing, and then
Yeah,
they're like, on,
he's
they-
not reciprocating for some reason.
but then he starts to reciprocate when the zombie stuff starts to happen. It's fucking. It's
when they
just
both
good.
when they both die. Also, I gotta say this up top. Fuck that businessman on that train. Fuck that guy. Oh my God! Immediately out the gate when he started like just demanding answers for things, I'm like, oh, I hope this guy has like a brutal fucking death or something.
But there's a Karen in every movie, and then
There
that
is.
was that businessman.
You gotta have him. But
The
God, the fact that he just threw that, he threw like three. I think he threw 3 people into the zombies.
yeah,
in
it was
this
the bad
movie.
guy, right? It was
Pretty much. He was. Yeah.
Towards the end, remember the one that actually bites the dad at the end? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, that guy.
yeah. That guy sucked because he was like calling for his mom at the end.
Ugh.
There were so many. These character development is so good that you like. I don't like a lot of like horror films. I'm like, I can't get past the cheesy. I have now. I've softened up because my wife's like, come on, let's watch. So now I'm like, but when you see something written so well, you're like, fuck, why can't we do this all the time?
Right. And that was something that we kind of skimmed over. Like where would you, I mean, you kind of mentioned it right now. Like you would say like your wife's probably more the horror fan.
Yeah, no, I grew up very Catholic,
Same.
scared of the devil, like
Yeah.
yeah, like shit like that. So I couldn't even. I this year was the first year I watched The Exorcist. I watched it.
The original?
No. I'm like watched it and I can watch it just laughing. Like she was like, "Oh, your mother sucks cocks in hell," and I'm like, and then like I would riff. My wife lets me riff, and I go, "Well, at least my mom's doing stuff. You know, at least she's doing stuff in her retirement. You know." So I used to never be able because I would be freaked out. I'm like, "Oh, it's the devil," you know. But now it's like, it's the devil.
Zombie movies, especially. I used to be scared shitless. So
Yeah.
now I'm like, those are my go-tos. Like I love a good zombie movie. But like my biggest fear was always like, it could happen though.
It
And I
really
remember,
could.
I remember asking my dad one time. I'm like, Dad, what happens if like a zombie apocalypse happens? He's like, we die. I don't know. We'll
I mean,
see.
he's not wrong.
Yeah, he's not wrong.
It's just about living your life every day to build up to that. When it happens, that you come off as a cool zombie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because I don't want to fucking. Because I'm not gonna be a good zombie. Like that was just fucking in sweatpants with spaghetti stains on my shirt.
Oh my God, is that guts? No, it's pasta.
Yeah, that's the public bathroom zombie. That's where I'll be when I get turned. It's fucking stupid. What type of zombie you think you'd be?
Me? Oh man, I'm just gonna be another face in that swarm. I think.
Oh,
I don't
don't
think,
say that
I
about
don't think-
yourself.
I will say my dream death for a zombie apocalypse would be like how the husband goes out, just holding them off, fighting, telling everybody, "Go on, go! I got them," and just letting them. Just I'm turning, but I'm like, no, I'm gonna hold it off.
Yeah,
That's like my go-to dream. But
I can't even imagine a regular person biting me, let alone a zombie. 'Cause immediately, as soon as I feel the first bite, and I'll let go. I'll let go. Oh, you're all dead. Forget it.
I was gonna say, like, how long do you think you'd last in in this specific kind of a zombie apocalypse?
Well, when I eventually become a conspiracy theorist, then I have a bunker underground. A long time.
Long
You
time.
remember? Fuck, what was that? It was not Cloverfield, but it was the one where John Goodman,
10 Cloverfield Lane.
where he's underground.
Yeah.
That's me. That's how long I'll last. I'm kidnapping people, for friends,
Yeah.
but I'm underground surviving.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I will hunt down a survivalist and just be like, listen, I don't know how to make stuff. I don't know how to farm. You need impressions, dude. I got you. You need someone to reenact some movies, my dude.
You're just in the bushes, like help, like doing impressions of little girls. So a group of people think that there's a little girl behind there, and then your survivalist friends kills them all and take all their stuff.
Hey, survivalist, give me a call. Like, hit me up.
I could do voices.
Leave a comment. I can do voice. We can trap people. We could get Saul out of his bunker, guys.
No, you won't. You're not tracking me. No one. You could do a full-blown impression of my wife. I'd be like, you've been dead. Can't trick me.
A part of me, like when I remember when I first watched this movie, a part of me did have that thinking of like, ugh, it's a horror movie set on like there's some like B movies where like it's set on a plane, it's set on a ship. I did have that one moment where I'm like, ugh, it's just all on a train. I like how they spread it out to where they do make stops.
Yeah.
And that first station where they're like, how are we going to kill all these passengers? We got it. Let's have them stop. Everybody gets off, and we just cut the number in half.
Yeah. And then like, let's not only that, let's like we feel like we're safe from the zombies. They're trapped in a train, but like they're in that little one of the trains, right? There's like a bunch of them in there. I don't know why everybody was just okay walking around that fucking train while the zombies are like their faces again. Like that's glass.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought it was.
They
that
have
part was
selective breaking through glass abilities.
Yeah.
Because there's like some glass where they're like, wow, what is this? And then there's sometimes where like, hey, hold on. Psh. Hey guys, it breaks. Let's get in here.
The logic behind it. It'd be like a fucking straight up screen door. And they're like, we're fucking trapped behind it. Like, you can break through that easily.
They become the aliens from Signs. They're like, I don't know what this is.
They
It's
don't
not
know
opening on its own.
Yeah. I did at that moment towards the end of the movie where I had such a morbid thought where the dad just got bit.
Yeah.
And he puts the daughter and the pregnant lady in the train. He's having that fucking visions of his holding his daughter. And in my head, I'm like, you're turning into a zombie. What do you like? It goes from like, oh, I love you. Like, oh, a little fucking veal baby. You know what I mean? Like
veal baby? A snack.
Yeah.
That's why he's actually smiling.
Yeah, that's why he's smiling.
Like, I can go for a baby right now.
Yeah, in my head. It's like, that must be a bad thought going out, but as a zombie coming in, like, ooh, you know what I mean? Like, such a morbid thought. My wife's like, you're fucking gross. I'm like, I don't know what he's turning into a zombie. What do you think? A delicious little baby it'd be pretty good.
Yeah. So it's something. It's not going to fill you up, but you're not going to keep you on being hungry.
An aperitif. All right.
It does like why when he does fall over, it was giving me a lot of like a solid anime vibe.
Yeah.
Like where like you don't see him fall off, you just see his shadow, his silhouette, and you hear that music, and it's just him falling. I'm like, oh, this is like a beautiful ending to an anime. God damn.
Honestly, they could probably remake that into an anime. I'd still watch it. Probably be as lit.
It would be an insane anime. Japan or Korea, whoever. One of you beat each other to the punch.
Wait, do Koreans make anime?
I don't think so. I think in order for it to be an anime, it has to be Japanese.
Japanese, right?
Yeah.
Or let's do another Train to Busan. I'd fucking watch that. They do what now?
There was a sequel to it.
What? Who? Where?
It's
not as good.
I haven't seen it, but I saw a clip and it looks more action horror than horror. You know what I mean?
Oh.
It's Train to Busan Peninsula.
Greyhound bus to Seoul or some shit. It's the same one, but in a bus.
charter bus to State Line.
Yeah.
That's the American remake.
Imagine Speed, the movie Speed, but zombies.
Yeah.
Oh, if we slow down, we're dead. Okay. All right.
Yeah, and then there is I don't know if it's still a thing. It's something I did forget to look up, but I do believe they are making an American version of Train to Busan, which I am not on board with.
I'm gonna watch it, but I'm gonna be mad.
Oh, same. Like it is never. If the foreign movie is already, people are like, this is fucking great, there's no reason to remake it into an English American version or anything like that.
All it'll do is make you want to, because you remember the movie Old Boy?
Yeah.
I have never seen the original version.
Mm-hmm.
I've only seen the
Josh
American
Brolin
version,
one.
the Josh Brolin, which I was like, whoa, that's a fucked up ending.
Yeah.
And that's what the movie's okay, and then the ending happened. I'm like, oh, this is a crazy ass ending. But I was like, and then I look on, it didn't get great reviews. This is from people who watched the original, going like, this is just a watered down version of the
Korean
original.
one's
The Korean one's fucking crazy.
crazier, yeah.
Which makes me got to go back, and I guess I got to watch the Korean one.
Yeah, dude. The Korean horror, like we said, the Korean horror game, and they're just like, anytime they get into like dip their toe into anything that's like horror or any kind of thriller or something, they go hard on it.
Yeah, they'll kill a baby.
They're like, you're gonna fucking remember our movie.
Yeah. They will kill a baby. They don't give a fuck. They'll do it right in front of you.
You're gonna go home. You're gonna hug your family. You're gonna be like, I would never, not to you guys, not. I promise, I'll keep you safe. I will do my best.
Yeah.
Who do you have a? Oh, first thing, are you a subtitle person or a dubbed person?
I'm both.
Okay.
I'm both. I had to, for this specific movie, I had to look up the dubbed because I was too high. I didn't feel like reading.
Understandable.
And there's two, like, it's funny because one bought the rights for, I think it's on Amazon Prime, but
Yeah.
the subtitled one, not the dubbed one.
I watched it on Peacock, and it immediately gives you the dubbed version. You have to set it to Korean and subtitles on your own if you want that normal. But it was just so funny, like me playing it, expecting it to be like, well, they're going to start off in Korean if I want it.
That's a Netflix thing, though. I feel like Netflix.
Peacock.
I know, but I'm saying that I feel like Netflix starts it off like it in its original language because there's Netflix Korea, there's Netflix, and then I don't Peacock might be strictly all around American.
Yeah, because it gave me immediately just the English version. All you hear is, "What's going on?" There's a leak. There's a leak over there.
I think people's laziness to not read can surpass the lips not matching.
I'm impartial because I do voice work for animation, and anime is one of the things I want to do. But there is, if you go to anybody who's an anime fan, at the very least, they'll argue to hell and back to about whether or not sub or is better than dub or vice versa. There are certain ones where I'm like, you have to just have the subtitles on because you hear, especially with this movie, you hear the acting from everybody is just top tier. It's great. Everyone's giving all that fear and horror vibe that you need, the panic. Watch this. For this one, I recommend the subtitles. And unless you're high, go dub.
I like to ruin an actor's vibe by putting in a voice actor.
Someone who does not look like they belong with that voice.
Not at all. Yeah, but like all this sweat and tears, and he's like raw in the emotion. I'd rather just have an American actor who doesn't. What now? What? He just showed up. Like, you want to cry?
What's going on? Yeah. Oh my god! It's always Keanu Reeves in every. Huh? Because like in Asia, like they do have a lot of that guttural, like huh. So they read the huh, what, oh.
As a voiceover, as a guy who does voices, do you get a lot of dub work?
Yeah, I did a video game not too long ago where the character I was playing was just like bored of his job and just kind of going through status is fine, whatever, blah blah blah. So they played like the original with the Chinese language, and then I dubbed it in, and it was so jarring to see them back to back, to see where it's like, oh, this guy's voice was animated around, or the animation was done around the voice originally. Now I'm adding my voice to the animation.
Yeah,
there's a separation.
I feel like you would be like, man, team dubbed all day. You know what I mean? Because that would just get you more work.
Don't get me wrong. I love dub. There's just some animes where I'm like, the original voice actors are just peak and they're just really, really good. Like it's just solid. But there are certain dub shows that I like, and I'm like, this is dope. I wish I can be on this right now.
Yeah.
One day I will play the ultimate bad guy in an anime. What would you consider as the best death in this movie?
The best death in this movie. Oh, man.
And no real criteria to it. Just you're watching and you're like, holy shit, I'm going to remember that.
Yeah, I mean, I think we talked about it earlier. It was Beefcakes. It was the dad's, because he was literally, I mean, he was holding the door back.
Not only holding the door, he was holding another zombie holding zombies back.
Yeah, and that's where how he got bit, was holding the zombie, and him just looking back, and the emotion between everybody, the wife and him saying, grab her and shit like that.
Yeah.
And he just knew, he's like, I'm done.
Yeah.
And then the door eventually gives and he's just punching, you know what I mean? And then it's the mass amount of zombies just coming in, he can't. Mm-hmm. There's just so many coming in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that one. I mean, the most justified one was the businessman.
Yeah.
I love that one because he was crying because he was such a piece of shit the whole time. He was like, "Don't let them in" when they wanted to come in. And
he's blaming that they're infected.
Yeah, and he like saying that they were infected, and then
threw the high school girl at a zombie.
Yeah, the guy was a piece of shit.
Not only that, he threw the high school girl. He tricked one of the I don't know what they're called, the stewardess of the train.
Yeah,
and when they're hiding in the bathroom, and he's like, "It's safe, go." And he just shoves them out, and then he books it.
Yeah, and he's just such a fucking piece of shit, and he's such a fearful person that as he's turning, he can't even believe that he's a zombie. He's, no, there's no way.
Yeah.
And that's when he starts calling for his mom. And it's like the most pathetic way to die is to die. I mean, calling for your mother. It's sad. It's sad on a chip, but this guy.
But when it's
so
a piece
pathetic.
of shit
Yeah,
doing it,
pathetic.
you're like, yeah, you know what? Your mom doesn't even want to see you, dog.
No.
And real quick, because we do got to wrap up, but I do want to point this out. When the main character his mom calls him, and she's like slowly turning over the phone. There's like a point where she's just like, take care of, I think the daughter's name's like Sue Ann or whatever.
Yeah.
Take care of Sue Ann. She's such a sweet girl. Oh, but she always just wants her mom. That bitch. And then she dies. Like her last breath is her calling her granddaughter a bitch.
Yeah, and that's not the zombie right there. That was the
That was all grandma.
One last grandma, like, fucking bitch.
Fuck you, girl. I gave you candy and you give me tears. Fuck you.
Also, what an egotistical crazy. Like, especially the mom didn't sound like she abandoned the daughter or nothing. It just sounded like the grandmother was just jealous for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Super weird.
So weird. But yeah, dude, like I said, we got to wrap up. But before we do, so on a scale of 1 to 10 on the scary meter, where are you putting this movie at?
1 to 10, I'm not that scared by zombie movies. I just like good movies.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give it a 7.
A 7. I agree with that. 7's a solid
Yeah.
for this one. Zombie movies, I always think are hit and misses.
Yeah.
You know, there's people can do them real wrong. People can do them real right. This one, real right, guys. Highly recommend it. I mean, you can pretty much find it almost anywhere. Peacock.
Yeah, there's a Peacock.
Amazon.
There's also one of the free ones. There's
Tubi, I think.
Tubi.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Tubi.
Tubi. If you can't find it, the dub version's on Tubi.
Oh, you can't.
Yeah, no, I'm saying if you don't have any of the other services, you can get Tubi. You can find it on Tubi. The
Okay,
dub
for
version.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so give it a watch. Train to Busan. Fucking awesome movie. If you want not only just like a good scare or just a good thrill ride, this is the movie to watch. And Saul, thank you so much for adding it to the bin. Really appreciate it. You got your camera right here. Let the people know where you're at, what you got going on. Where can they find you?
SaulComedy.com, at Saul Comedy on Instagram, on TikTok. Yeah, come do a comedy. Come to watch one of us do stand up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Come watch us do
He's
stand up.
probably doing more than me right now, but you know, come see one of us.
I still wanted to plug you, you know?
Yeah, no, I get ya. I got my camera right here, and I'll tell you guys where to find me. Julian F. Comedy on all the things, Instagram, TikTok, my website as well. You can find me here on this podcast, hosting every other week for right now. We'll get to those weekly dates soon. But make sure to subscribe, like, comment, share, do all the things. Thank you guys so much for watching, but especially Saul, thank you so much for being on the podcast, dude. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. I also have a podcast called Dogs at Browntown. You should check it out.
Dogs of Browntown. Check it out as well. Saul Comedy, Saul Trujillo. Thank you so much, bud.
Thanks for having me.
We'll see you guys in the zombie horde. Bye.